Give me a few hours, I could so make that. Happy snipping! Hey viewers, my name's Kara. It's a Friday night and I'm going to do a sort of t-shirt reconstruction for you, but not with t-shirts. You're not going to see me in this video because it's a Friday night and I'm in my pajamas. I've just been sitting around doing this and wanted to make a video for you. So to give you a bit of background story, every year in the winter my church makes little care packages for something called Homeless Stand Down, and as part of that we also make scarves every year. Now this is only my second year doing it because I have only been going to the church for a little over a year now, but this year I wanted to do something a little bit different with the scarves. So I took a bunch of them home and I decided that instead of just making a bunch of plain colored scarves, because I already made 4 plain color scarves, I would make my last 4 dual color using one of my t-shirt recon techniques that I've showed you, the cut and tie. So we're going to make a couple more scarves that look like this. I'm just going to make the next one with you so that you can see it. So this is one that I've just done. I'm going to put that to the side. The next one I want to make is going to be this color blue, which this is the other shorter half from that one that I just made. So that one is already cut for me. And the other color is going to be this dark gray. Now this is the full length scarf, the long one. So the first thing we're going to do, of course, is level it out on one side so we can cut it in half, because we want the end result to be the regular length scarf. So we're going to start with 2 halves. Simple enough, right? I'm folding it in half, cutting it right at the half mark with my little fabric scissors. And there we are. And this is fleece material that was donated to the church for this project by a company. It's like leftovers that they have or that they're willing to donate for us. And fleece is a little bit, it'll pull apart when you cut it. It doesn't fray afterward, but the fleecy sort of material does come loose when you first cut it. So I'm going to set aside one of these halves for the next scarf that I will make, which will be light gray and dark gray. No, wait. Dark gray and black, and then I'm going to use the other half of the black for a black and light gray, because I don't want a black and blue scarf. I just decided I don't want to do black and blue. So now I have the other 2 halves already cut for that third scarf. So now we have 2 half pieces, and what I'm going to do is figure out which one has 2 ends that are closest to the same size, because sometimes the fleece is cut a little bit uneven. See, like that's too short. So I'm going to go ahead and use that other side. These 2 ends almost exactly match up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Push those to the back. And you're actually watching me do this upside down. I apologize for that. I might flip the frame so that you can see it the way that I'm doing it. But this is a simple enough technique. I think you can follow along upside down as well. Okay, so now I've got my pieces. They're folded even, and I want to cut them together so that I have all of my matching ends exactly the same amount and the same size so that they'll tie together correctly. This is just like you would do on a t-shirt for cut and tie. You want to cut the 2 layers together. So I'm just going to pick a width about, what is that, ½ an inch? I don't know, I just eyeball it. But you're going to want to make sure that they are long enough tassels or fringes, long enough that you'll be able to tie it in a double knot. So it doesn't roll like t-shirt fabric does, like I've showed you in my tutorials. When you pull on it, it gets thin. Fleece doesn't do that this direction. So you want to make sure that you make it long enough to tie 2 knots in there. So I'll actually do that a little bit more. And it does make the scarf a little bit shorter, so you'll want to be cognizant of that when you choose fabric to do this with. You can also do this with t-shirt fabric to repurpose it to make a scarf. I'm just using the fleece because that is the material that we have for the project. Hi Sierra. My kitty is at the side here. She's been watching me make these scarves for a couple days. I took home 7 of them. I made 1 at church last Sunday and I took home 7 so that I could make 1 every day for the week. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I did 8 on the last one, but I'm not going to quite get 8 out of this. Yeah, I will. Okay. I'll make it thinner. I prefer to have them thinner rather than thicker, because thicker is harder to tie. So if they're a little bit thinner, that's okay. Okay, I'm wiping the fleece off. There's my fleece powder. I have these blue paper towels that are all over my brother's dad's house because they use them for all of their cleaning and mechanics kind of stuff, so I'm using that. So now we have these, and they're doubled up perfectly. So what I'm going to do for the first one is just leave it like this and go ahead and tie my knots. With the first one on my other scarf, I tied a regular double knot, and what that ends up doing is it puts the blue onto the gray side, and then you'll notice the rest is gray on gray, blue to blue. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. I like one being different. So I'm going to tie my first one in a regular double knot. That is, I'll flip it so you can see this time, so you can see it my direction. The left one on top, tie a knot. Left one on top again for another regular granny knot. Pull that. And now when it lays flat, it actually lays flattest that way. But for the others, I'm going to do a square knot. And for that, I'm going to turn it sideways to face me and pull them apart. I wanted to do the first one normal so that it holds it together. So now I'm going to do square knots, which is left one on top first, and then right one on top first. So since the blue's on my left, you can think of it as the blue. See, and then when I pull it, it's gray on gray, blue on blue. So we're going to do blue on top again. If that's not clear to you, if you've never done a square knot before, I'm sure there are tutorials specifically for how to tie knots. But I also talked about it in my t-shirt recon videos. So you can see these ones, you end up with the blue on top, and this one I had gray on top. I don't know how that, how I did that, how it makes a difference. I don't know how you could do that on purpose. That one I got a little bit half and half, which is nice. So anyway, yeah. So very simple. This is exactly the same technique as my cut and tie t-shirts. And you can see I did the tassels long enough that I don't have to pull it. I don't have to worry about it not coming out, you know, not having enough room for me to tie. And then the last knot. There we go. And there we go. So there's our middle. And actually you can see it's kind of bunched in, sort of like a bow. You can leave it like that, or just tug apart a little bit, and you might hear it crack and pull apart. It's just breaking some of the threads in the fabric next to it to get it to pull back out. So there we go. Now, to make the ends look similar, this one's rolled up, so you can't see, but what I did is I just went to one end, cut my fringe just like usual, and remember, again, you'll want to cut a little bit long. We're not tying it to another one, but what I did, actually I should have started with one in the middle, because I'm going to do an odd number of cuts to end up with an even number of fringe. So I want 7 cuts, 1 in the middle and 3 on each side. So it's always easiest for me to eyeball the center, and then I can have sort of even fringes. Okay, so now I have 8 fringes, and what I'm going to do is just tie an overhand knot in each one. That's like this. I think that's what it's called, an overhand knot. I am going to tug it a little bit. It's not going to roll. I'm just going to pull it, hold it at the base, wrap it around my finger, push it through itself, and tighten that down. Pushing it with one hand, pulling the tassel with the other, so that I get one round knot right up at the base. And all that's going to do for me is make the ends of the scarf look like the middle, so that it's not totally different. Because I was just going to leave it like this, but to me that's so boring, and that's all we are required to do for this project at church. We ask that everyone from the congregation, whether they're 97 or 7, come and make some scarves, and that's all we do. We just cut fringe. What I started doing last year, though, and I have a picture of the one that I did last year, and I also took a picture of one that I did this year. I braided the ends of the fringe because to me it's just so fast and easy to do fringe, and I personally felt like I wanted to spend some more time on them, spend some more time with the scarves, because what I was doing is while I'm doing this, I'm putting my intent into it and my energy, and I'm making it a little bit of a magic scarf for them. And so last year when I was braiding, I was thinking of braiding together warmth and love and happiness. And the note that I wrote, there are little tags that we attach to them at the end. The note that I wrote said that. I said, you know, braided into this scarf are my wishes for your well-being and things like that. So I really like doing something a little bit special with them and putting my intent into them. And with these 4, since I'm doing them dual colored, I actually wrote something about that on the tags. This one says, this is one of 4 dual color scarves. I wanted each one to be unique while connected to the others, just like you. Wear in peace. And it says, smile gorgeous. I don't know how people react to these. I've never been there when they get them, but I just really hope they'll like them. And so each one of the tags I made, this will be for this one. It says, this is the second one I made. I wanted each one to be a little bit different, but still part of something, kind of like you. And the third one says, when you wear this, remember that even though you're individual, you're part of something, etc., etc. So, I don't know, I just personally felt like I wanted to do something different this year because people liked the braids that I did last year. So a couple of the girls are doing braided scarves. Why do I keep doing this? I keep forgetting to cut my middle one first so that I'm centered. Anyway, a couple of the other girls now are braiding theirs, and I really liked that other people are taking that idea, but then I thought, you know, so I did a couple that are braided, but I thought, what else can I do to keep making it different every year? And I do love T-shirt recon, so this is just quick and easy thing. So I'll just go ahead and finish this one off, and that'll be the end of the video, and then I'll make my other 2. So, and I'm not even speeding this up, I'm not editing it at all. This will just be straight through for you. People have always asked before, why don't I show the cuts that I make, and that's because it takes too long. My scissors aren't that great, it's hard to cut through the fabric, it takes me too long to cut a straight line. I think, you know, I trust you all to know how to cut a straight line. If you don't, I literally did a blog about it on my T-shirt recon blog, because a lot of people asked me about it. I might put something about these scarves on the blog too. And there we go. And when I do move into my new house, which will be really soon here, I want to do some more crafting and T-shirt recon and things like that, and I will be putting some things up on my Etsy. These are for Homeless Stand Down, of course, but I will do other things, and I will have them for sale on my Etsy and get back into my jewelry and things like that too. Okay, so this is the last knot. Here we go. What else would you be doing on a Friday night, really? Okay, so now that I finished that, I'm going to tug them apart a little bit just to make it square. Square. Okay. And then how I roll it. See, all the fuzz is coming off and going on the other side. I'm going to fold it in half. I start rolling it from the ends, the loose ends, I mean. Yeah, the ends. Okay. Fold the tassels up, kind of tuck them in there, and then I roll it nice and tight. And it'll scoot a little bit. Da, 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 da. There we go. Then they also provided rubber bands, so I grabbed as many rubber bands and slips of paper as I would need to make these at home. So we secure it with a rubber band. And then for these 4, I have already pre-made the tags, but usually if I was doing it at church, I would be decorating it. They have stickers, they have different color markers. I just use pen for these. So it's that big. Fold it in half. Tuck it underneath here. There. And it's like a little gift tag. So this is number 2 of the dual color scarves. I'll show you the other ones I made. These are the other 3 that I already made this week. They are just braided at the ends, and then this one had knots at the end. Actually, I'll show you. This one I just cut into fringe and then knotted it at the base. Teeny tiny fringe, see? I knotted it at the base and at the end of the fringe, and then I put a knot in the middle, but some of them were further up, some of them were further down, some of them were directly in the middle. I wanted them to be different. So that one has fringe on both sides with 126 knots. So it says 126. It says each one of them is a blessing for their well-being. Count your blessings and start with 126. So those are the 5 scarves that I have made so far this week. Thank you very much for watching. As you can see, this is a very easy project if you would like to do something similar and find out how you can donate them to different places in your area. So this is a pretty simple thing that you could do even with some leftover t-shirts that you don't want anymore. Even an old scarf, you could get 2 old fleece scarves that you might have and tie them together and change it up a little bit. Okay, I just wanted to show you all 4 of them are done now. I made the other 2 while I watched the playback of the video that I just recorded showing you how to do the second one. So that's the one that I just did the tutorial for. These ones are done. So you can see all 4 of them are a different color combination. So instead of just having, 2 of them be duplicates of each other and 2 of them be duplicates, all 4 of them are different, but they came from the same 4 colors. So this way, 4 scarves are connected instead of just 2 pairs. So that's really what I was going for. So there we go, all 4 of them, quick and easy, fun project to do with the kids or with your siblings or parents or by yourself, with your cat, in a basement, whatevs. I know this video is already long, but I didn't get it posted when I wanted to, so since I had already gone to church and made even more scarves, I thought I would share these pictures with you. So these are some pictures of all of the scarves that we made at church that Sunday, and we have 1 more week to complete even more of them. We have stockpiles of more of this fabric underneath the other tables that we haven't even gotten to yet, so hopefully we will do a couple hundred more. In the boxes that I had filled up, there were 50 each in 2 boxes and 63 in another box that was slightly bigger, and there were 200 on the table when I left. So as of that day when I left church, we had made 363 scarves, and a lot of people brought home more to work on over the next week. So thank you again for watching. Don't forget to be awesome, blessed be, and goodbye.